10 o'clock, so how about if we get started?
Okay,
Thanks.
I'm gonna go ahead and start the meeting.
Great.
Recording in progress.
Okay, good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the February 8th, 2024 Board of Public Utilities meeting. If I could have the secretary please read the notice.
Adequate public notice has been given pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Act. Notice have been posted at the board's office and website and emailed to the Department of State and to newspapers of board circulation within the state.
Thank you. And may we have a roll call?
Commissioner Crystal DeLu.
Here.
Commissioner Abdul, absent during roll call. Commissioner Page.
Here.
And President Gosadobi.
Here. And when is our next regular board meeting?
The next regular board meeting will be held on Wednesday, February 14th, 2024. It'll be a hybrid meeting in person at the board hearing room at 44 South Clinton Avenue in Trenton and live stream via YouTube.
Thank you. So this is a special meeting to consider the annual BGS auction results. There is no consent agenda today, and we will be going into executive session. Before we do that, do any of my colleagues have any opening remarks? Okay, thank you. We'll now go into executive session. It should be short, about 10 minutes. Could the Attorney General's office please explain the justification?
Good morning, Madam President, Commissioners. Today's item falls within the contract negotiation and attorney-client privilege exceptions to the Open Public Meetings Act. These exceptions are found in New Jersey Statute 10:4-12B7.
Thank you. Can I have a motion to go into executive session?
So moved. Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. We'll now go into executive session and we will be back in 10 minutes. Thanks. Looks like, are we missing anyone? I see my commissioner colleagues, see council. I see the AG's office. Madam Secretary, do you think we're good?
Looks good to me.
Great. Okay, well, we are back from executive session. Stacy Peterson will be presenting 2A. Stacy, we're ready when you are.
Good morning, commissioners. This matter relates to the basic generation service auctions for rates that will go into effect beginning June 1st, 2024, if the board approves and certifies the results. The BGS CIEP auction was conducted on February 2nd, representing approximately 2,813 megawatts of load in total. The BGS CIEP auction lasted 25 rounds with all 38 tranches filled. The auction started with 7 registered bidders and finished with 5 winning bidders. The dollar per megawatt day winning prices are for ACE, $370.86, for JCP&L, $357.14, for PSE&G, $378.21, and for Rockland, $300.84. The BGS RSCP auction was conducted on February 5th and 6th, representing approximately 5,318 megawatts of load. The RSCP auction lasted 29 rounds with all 57 tranches filled by the auction. The auction started with 14 registered bidders and finished with 13 winning bidders. The cents per kilowatt hour winning prices are for ACE, 8.142, for JCP&L, 8.295, for PSE&G, 8.088, and for Rockland, 8.555. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Frank Mossberg from Bates White to give a bit more detail.
Thank you. Frank?
Thank you, Stacy. Good morning, commissioners. This is Frank Mossberg with Bates White. We are the board advisor for this BGS auction. Based on our review of and participation in the process, we would recommend the board certify the results of the BGS RSCP and CIEP auctions. And I'll talk a little bit about some public information about both of those auctions. I'll start with the RSCP auction. This is an auction for the residential and small commercial customers. We were looking for 3-year contracts starting delivery in June of this year, covering roughly 1/3 of the 4 EDC's RSCP needs over the next 3 years. So for this upcoming year, customers will be served by contracts from this year, last year's BGS auction, and the 2022 BGS auction. Overall, this was a really good auction. It was very competitive. And we have 3 reasons specifically for recommending certification. First, the bidding was open, fair, and transparent. Second, the winning prices were consistent with market conditions. And third, the auction was competitive. In terms of fairness and transparency, this is a price-only evaluation. The winners are simply those who keep their supply in round by round and offer the lowest prices. Everybody's signing the same contracts. And we were able to observe the bidding round by round and independently verify the winning bidders and winning bid prices. In terms of competition, a couple metrics that I can share publicly. First, as Stacy mentioned, there were 14 registered bidders. That compares to 12 last year. So that's an increase, and that's what we'd like to see. Second, in terms of the number of tranches eligible to be offered at the start of the auction, there were 2.88 tranches per every tranche needed, and that's up from 2.13 last year. So again, an increase from last year and a good sign. And in terms of number of winners, we had 14 registered bidders and 13 winners. That compares to 8 winners last year. So again, almost everybody who participated was a winner. In addition, we saw no signs of collusive behavior. Neither did our auction theory expert, Professor Ken Hendricks at the University of Wisconsin. Finally, in terms of prices, we had expected prices to go down a bit as compared to last year due to lower energy prices. and lower risk premiums, and that's indeed what we saw. Decreases were on the order of 11 to 13%. However, in terms of bill impact for this product, the comparison is not this year to last year, it's really this year to the expiring contracts, and those were from 3 years ago when energy prices were much lower. So compared to 3 years ago, prices are up about 20–25%. Fortunately, when it comes to bill impact, again, we only replace about a third of the bill, and there are other components that are not set by this procurement. So in terms of bill impact, the impact is fairly moderate, somewhere in the 3 to 8% range. Finally, as a more detailed check, we used our benchmark pricing model. This is a model that tries to put ourselves in the shoes of a bidder and generates a range of prices we would expect, and all the winning prices were within this range. For the CIEP, very briefly, we would also recommend certification for similar reasons. These are a little different. These are contracts for 100% of the supply for 1 year. It had the same open and fair design as the RSCP auction and ran smoothly. It was sufficiently competitive. This gets a little lower participation. It's a smaller auction. So we had 7 registered bidders, 5 winners. Last year we had 6 registered bidders and 4 won. So still seeing an increase in participation. Those registered bidders were eligible to bid about 2.63 tranches for every tranche needed coming into the auction. Last year, that number was 2.22. So again, an increase. And again, we saw no signs of collusive behavior. And finally, just to wrap up in terms of prices, this product's put together a little differently than the RSCP product. The price here is really only to cover 2 components. It's to cover the cost of capacity and the cost of meeting New Jersey's RPS requirements for the upcoming year. Those components have gone up compared to last year. So we had expected prices to go up some, and that's indeed what we saw, somewhere around a 4 to 20% increase. However, again, I'd stress this is only part of the bill. The much larger part will be a spot energy cost that will just depend on market conditions for the year. That's all I have in terms of an official presentation, but I'm happy to answer questions.
Thanks, Frank.
So the auction manager responsible for conducting the 2024 auctions was NERA. The auctions were also continuously monitored by staff as well as Bates White. NERA and Bates White have both provided post-auction checklists that have been reviewed by staff that included in-depth analysis on how the auctions were conducted. Both the independent NERA and Bates White post-auction reports are consistent and indicate that the auctions proceeded without interruption according to the board-approved auction rules in an acceptably fair and transparent manner, and recommend that the board should certify the auction results. Staff also recommends that the board certify the final results of the RSCP and CIEP auctions in their entirety and approve the closing prices for each EDC. Staff further recommends that the board direct the EDCs to execute the next necessary documents with the winning bidders, including the supplier master agreement. Staff further recommends the board direct the EDCs to implement the BGS rates resulting from the auctions beginning June 1st, 2024, and file tariff sheets reflecting those rates 7 days after the results of the PJM third incremental RPM auction are known, but no later than April 1st, 2024.
Thank you, Stacy. Thank you to you and your team, and to NERA and Bates White and their teams. Can I have a motion, please?
I'm happy to make a motion to that.
Thank you. And a second?
Second.
Thank you. Couple of things from me to start. I just, again, want to thank Stacy, our BPU team, the teams from NERA and Bates White. This is a compressed timeline even for us. So really appreciate all of the work that everyone has put into this, and as well as my colleagues, for the time committed to review and provide questions and feedback. So thank you all. Just want to underscore a couple of things. Again, that this was a competitive auction. That's very good to see. that, we've seen a decrease from last year, and hopefully that's an indicator that the market is stabilizing. But again, we understand that a moderate increase in the monthly electric bills for our New Jersey customers, is going to go into effect. So acknowledging that, and just want to, make sure that the customers know that the BPU is committed to energy affordability, and there are a lot of programs out there to help support people who need assistance paying their utility bills. Are there any comments or questions from my colleagues?
I'd just like to add, since this is as close to a mountaintop as I'll probably get, I want to sing Stacey Peterson's praises for all she's done for this. This is an incredibly complicated and detailed process. Stacey did a great job on behalf of the board and New Jersey ratepayers, so thank you very much. And I'm encouraged by the competitiveness and the transparency of this process. And auctions tend to be as market-driven as any kind of environment, and this fits the bill on that. It was a very competitive process driven by market forces, and I'm very confident with these results. So thank you all very much.
Thanks. All right, well, just again, a reminder that there are programs available through BPU, through DCA, and utilities to help residents and customers pay their bills. So if you need assistance, don't wait, reach out to us and get the assistance that you need. Madam Secretary, can I have a roll call, please?
On a motion to approve staff's recommendation, Commissioner Christo DeLu,
Yes.
Commissioner Page,
Yes.
President Gossadovy.
Yes. Thank you. And that is it for today. Unless there are other questions or comments, can I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thanks. Have a wonderful day.